What you're going to get out of this video, well, I think you're going to get more out of this video than any video that I've done to date. In terms of resources and fun and giveaways, I think this is the one. It's a really, really good one, because in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can use blues scales over 7 jazz standards, jazz funk standards, but jazz standards. It's really fun. It's very, very straightforward. And whether you're an absolute beginner, an intermediate player, or even an experienced player, there's something for everybody here, because you can throw blues scales around and make them sound absolutely fantastic, or you can just play them straight up and down and they still sound very, very, very cool indeed. The resources that I've got for you is a PDF that is, and this video is for tenor and alto. So on the PDF, I've written out all of the names of the songs that we're going to be looking at, plus I've written out the blues scale for tenor and for alto saxophone as well. And you get backing tracks for all of these tunes, which are Summertime, Autumn Leaves, All Blues, Cantaloupe Island, Watermelon Man, Song for My Father, and Footprints. All absolutely beautiful, stunning tunes, and they sound great when you solo over them. You're going to get 7 backing tracks which have come from my friends at the Quartet app. And just to think about Quartet for a moment, it's absolutely fantastic. You get hundreds and hundreds. If you've got all 4, well, there's 5 now. There's 5 Quartet apps now, and if you buy all of them on a bundle deal, you get over 550 high quality, ultra high quality, the highest, the best quality backing tracks that you can get played by real musicians. Now, I am a huge iReal Pro fan. I love iReal Pro for different reasons, but the sound quality on this is just, you can't beat it. This is the best of the best. And you've got like hundreds and hundreds of backing tracks. I'm a huge fan. So all of the backing tracks have come from Quartet. But even if you haven't got the app, we're going to give you the backing tracks, which will be MP3s, which you can download in the description below. And all I have to do is to search. So if I search for this first one, Summertime, for instance, it will come up with the song, and then I can go up into the settings wheel and I can change it for B flat or E flat. I can also, there's a flute player in there. I can change the type of mix that I've got. It's brilliant. You can change the tempo, you can change the key. If you do change the key a lot, it will start to distort, because this is not digital instruments, these are real instruments. It's just fantastic. It's absolutely lovely. Cool. So before we dive in, I kind of have to ask you, please would you subscribe to my channel and go and visit my website, saxmadesimple.com. I'm going to give you 7 fantastic backing tracks if you'd like to buy me a coffee and help me pay for my brand new sign. Hope you like it. That would be extremely grateful. One more thing. At the end of this video, you'll see a black screen that says, I'll say thank you and goodbye. You'll see a black screen that says, please like and subscribe, like you do on all of my videos, and a little bit of music. Then after that, I'm going to tell you something that is very cool, which is happening with the website. It's an affiliate thing, and if you're interested in that, stay and watch after that screen and you'll see it. And if you're not, no worries. Okay, so let's dive in. It says on the PDF, 7 great jazz tunes that a blues scale will fit over. Actually, there's loads of jazz tunes that a blues scale will fit over the entire chord chart. And my big kind of disclaimer before the Taliban, the jazz Taliban, try and shoot me, it's not the only thing that you can do, and I would massively encourage you to study the chords for all of these tunes and understand what the chords are asking you to do, because and play over that and learn to improvise over the chords, the chord charts, which is something that I do with people in private lessons. Study chord charts and decode them. Things like major 251s and minor 251s. It's loads of fun, and you'll get a different dimension of playing. But the blues scale is a really kind of cool way of navigating your way, and a much more sax made simple, a much more straightforward way, and yet still sounds nice. When I first discovered the blues scale, I thought they were the best sound ever. They empowered me to improvise in pretty much every situation with the soul band that I was in at the time. Then when I started to take an interest in jazz, I wanted to make those blues scales still transferable over jazz tunes. It was natural, that's what I was doing, and I found found a way to make them fit. I'm not suggesting you should always play blues scales. Learning the chords is really important and challenging and definitely incredibly rewarding. However, if you like a really cool shortcut, here are 7 fantastic tunes that a blues scale will fit over beautifully if you use it sensitively. And one thing that in quartet, these tunes normally come in a standard key, and that's the case in quartet. And if you go to the real books or iReal Pro, you'll find them in the same key. If you're in a band, they might choose to change that key, but these I'm recording these in the standard keys. So before we apply the blues scale, let's just think about some top tips for solo skills. Number 1, keep it sax made simple. Keep it simple. If you make your blues scale phrases too long or complex, then it can start to sound like noodling or waffling, which is what I try not to do in these videos. Keep your phrases shorter and simple. Your phrases will have more meaning. They will sound punchier and be easier to repeat and develop, which brings me on to point number 2 on the top tips. Repeat and develop ideas. If you make a cool phrase, don't walk away from it or just let it go. Repeat that phrase and develop it and repeat it and develop it, and you'll sound really professional. It sounds really, really nice. So if you keep your ideas simple, they're easier to repeat and develop. Then rule number 3 is use space. Leave space between your phrases. Play with allowing tension to build with the space between phrases. Don't fill the entire canvas up with paint. You don't have to in order to do a good job. Be like a storyteller. If I just tell you a story like the person at the person in the supermarket, hey, I went on holiday, it was really cool and I really liked it, and we went to Spain, the weather was gorgeous. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to do that in a more professional way, you would play with space. We went to Spain. The weather was fantastic. Now, straight away, that sounds much more dramatic. And even though it's kind of caricature, if you were going to tell a story, you would definitely employ these kind of techniques. And that's what I mean by use space here. Allow the tension to build up with space. Right, good. And then the number 4 of the top tips for solo skills is to tell a story. Use points 1, 2 and 3 to tell a story, and this is the most important part of what sounds like a great solo. If you make a structured solo that has space, repetition and the development of straightforward ideas, sax made simple ideas, it's going to sound lovely. It really will. So let's dive in. First, Summertime. It's a Gershwin tune, and this backing track is in the style of Summertime, and the blues scale that we're going to be using for alto saxophone is F sharp blues scale, and for tenor saxophone it's B blues scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the backing track on, and then I'm going to just move up and down the notes of the blues scale, make sure that I can feel comfortable with those notes, and then I'm going to move up and down a little bit more, and then I'm going to start to throw it around. You'll hear what I'm doing anyway, so have a listen. And that was one whole chorus of Summertime. Doesn't it sound nice? And you could do another chorus, and if you wanted to build up the complexity, you could. So the next song is Autumn Leaves, written by Joseph Cosma, and Quartet have done a backing track in that style. So all I have to do is to close this down and then clear my search box and go for Autumn. There's a couple of Autumn Leaves in here. The one that I'm using is in the style of the Miles Davis version, which is really lovely, and yeah, it just sounds so nice. The blues scale that I'm going to be using is a blues scale in E for alto saxophone. For tenor players, that's going to be your A blues scale, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take the scale up and down first, and then I'll start to throw it around a little bit, change the order of the notes, but first I'm just going to establish it. So have a listen. This one's got a lovely long intro. I really like it. Sounds like the original. And again, that was one whole chorus of Autumn Leaves. Doesn't it sound nice? And I could take another chorus if I wanted to. So the next tune is Miles Davis, who I love with all my heart. I think Miles Davis is just the epitome of simple solos that sound so beautiful, and I just absolutely love what Miles does on some of his work. Particularly there's a version of Summertime that he did which I think is really nice. Anyway, I digress. So in all blues we're going to be using exactly the same scale. That's my E blues scale for alto and A blues scale for tenor sax. And yeah, you've got it. This is in 3/4, so lovely time signature. And again, I think I played two choruses there. It just fits, doesn't it fit really nicely? Of course, you have to use the blues scale sensitively. Be aware of that flat 5. In this case, that's the B flat. That's the B flat for alto, which is the E flat for tenor players. That's the note that I just need to be aware that creates a lot of tension. It's always the flat 5. By the way, if you're interested in blues scales and you want to get them all down like I did, which would be fantastic practice, I do a really good course on my website. So do go and have a look at that, because it's been very well received and people really like it. The next one, Herbie Hancock. I was lucky enough to shake Herbie Hancock's hand once about 25 years ago, and I'll never forget it. I'm sure he has done. But yeah, I absolutely love lots and lots of his tunes. And this is going to be Cantaloupe, in the style of Cantaloupe Island, and I'm going to be using my D blues scale, one of my favourite blues scales, because it's one of the first ones that I ever learned. Let's have a listen. And this is G blues scale for alto, for tenor, sorry. And you could hear me kind of discovering a little idea that just popped out spontaneously, and work it and work it and work it. That's what I mean by repetition. And I think it sounds really nice. Another Herbie Hancock classic is Watermelon Man, and I love this tune as well. I'm starting to sound like a stuck record because I do. I just love these tunes. And Watermelon Man is in the same key. For alto, it's D blues, and for tenor, G blues. The notes are all down there for you, so let's just dive straight into that. Absolutely gorgeous. And as you heard, I started on the palm key D for alto, and I came down the scale and I went straight back up again, but it still sounds like a lovely solo. And the next one is a Horace Silver tune, and again, this is really close to my heart. I went on a Jamie Aebersold course like 25 years ago, and they used the solo that Joe Henderson played through Song for My Father as the perfect solo example. Such a beautiful tune, and I love the kind of Latin feel of this. Song 4, if I type that in, it will pop up. There we are. And yeah, just so cool. So let's have a look. And the key that I'm playing in, again, it's D blues for alto. Wow. This is so cool. Yeah, and I can again feel the magnetic pull of this beautiful tune dragging me in and saying, play another solo, but I don't want to, because I want to crack on and give you the next tune, which is a Wayne Shorter classic, Footprints. So beautiful. By the way, if you haven't heard of these tunes, do check them out on YouTube, because we've got all of these fantastic resources, YouTube and people like me giving you free backing tracks. But go and have a listen to the original of these and listen to the solos that they play in them, particularly in the Herbie Hancock ones, because you're going to hear a lot of these blue scale licks if your ears are tuned. Anyway, Footprints, we are in a different key this time. We're going to be using A blues scale for alto saxophone, which is D blues for tenor sax. And let's just dive straight into that. So pretty. Doesn't it sound pretty? So, so lovely. Just the blues scale, just 6 notes, the same 6 notes. And the thing is that even though it is really, really simple, I wouldn't be ashamed or afraid of playing that in front of a world-class player like Dave O'Higgins, for example, or who's a top UK player, somebody I admire very much, and he's a highly, highly super, not simple player, he's a highly complex and technical player. And yet, if I was at a jam session and Dave was in the audience, I would be okay with playing a solo like that, because I would imagine that he would think, well, it's not the most complex solo that I've ever heard, but it works and it sounds nice, and that's the job of a saxophonist. I'd rather play something which was a bit more straightforward but sounded really, really lovely than overcomplicate something and try to make it too complex, because it can become intimidating. Anyway, I'm ranting. If we go back to the PDF, you've got some final thoughts. I can't stress enough the importance of eventually learning the chords. Of course, we want to do that. We want to continue to develop ourselves as saxophone players. Learn the chords of these wonderful tunes, because it will give you a deeper and more well-rounded approach. This is absolutely true. So Jazz Taliban, please don't shoot me. I'm just trying to make these tunes accessible for everybody using such a straightforward technique, because it's so joyful and it's so much fun to do. However, learning your blues scale in all keys is a fantastic thing to do. If only we knew somebody that had created a fabulous course about blues scales. Wait a minute, let's try Sax Made Simple, because there is a blues scale course on there which you should definitely do, because it will empower you. If you learn your blues scales in all keys, it will empower you to improvise through these classic songs in a way that sounds great and is reasonably straightforward. I do recommend that you download the Quartet apps. They're ridiculously cheap, actually. They're not expensive. If you've got an iPad or iMac, and I think they're just absolutely fantastic to have all hundreds of tunes at your disposal. So do go and download that. If you haven't got an iPad though, or you don't want to, for some reason, download it, which I think you should, all of these beautiful tunes are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find that really beautiful and fun and interesting and empowering. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to empower other saxophone players to be able to play these beautiful songs. And the reason that I haven't played the melodies, by the way, is because I will get shut down by YouTube. Anyway, enough of me. Thank you so much. There is a message after this message, so if you're interested in that, do stick around. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you again to subscribe to the channel, go visit my website, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Wow, so you're still here. Thank you so much for sticking around. So, as you know, I've got a website called Sax Made Simple, just in case I haven't mentioned that. And we've got some courses, and the courses are selling really well. And what we want to do is to get what they call affiliates. And what that means is that if you have a link to one of my courses on your website, or you put it out on social media and someone clicks on it and they go through and purchase a course, that's the key, they have to purchase something. If they purchase one of my courses, you get 25% of whatever that course value is. And I've got some bundle deals which are 100 UK pounds. I've got individual courses which are £45, and then I've got some bundle deals which are about 15 or 20 pounds for 3 tune tutorials, and then I've got some £10 deals where you can just go and buy a tune on its own. So there's something for everybody, that's the idea. And you get 25%. Now what you have to do is to go to my website and sign up as an affiliate, and then you need to market that course. That's the tricky bit. So if you've got a website, you need to put that link onto your website, or if you're an individual, you need to push that out on social media somewhere, or put it somewhere where people can find it so that they click it and buy a course, and you get 25%. So it's a pretty interesting deal. It's very new for us. So I'm entering completely new territory. So it's all very experimental. And if there are any fabulous business people out there and you want to help in any way, I am completely open to advice. So thank you so much for staying to the end. And this really is the end of this video now. I do hope that you sign up as an affiliate. If you have any feedback about anything that I'm doing at Sax Made Simple or on YouTube, then do let me know and send me an email to lyndon@saxmadesimple.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.